The
Yeah.
Dr. Heiney thing was a sticking point for me because, look, I didn't see Dr. Heiney when it aired live because I was on a morphine drip getting out of ICU that morning.
Well, explain that story a little bit more for people that haven't heard it in a while.
Well, I have this, I've been sick, and I didn't want to admit illness. I didn't want to admit it because, or pain or discomfort, because I didn't want to be perceived as weak. And we both know in the wrestling business, weak personalities, weak character gets gobbled right up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't want to be perceived as a weak guy. It'd be my job be vulnerable. I was insecure, all this other stuff, sick. I'm going to lose my spot. All the regular wrestling cliches. So I'm sitting at home. I was in intensive care for 9 days. I had a perforated colon, and I was poisoning myself. And I was about 30 days away from dying. But these stomach aches, man, I was drinking Pepto-Bismol and all these things, these little homemade remedies, like it was water. But the pain would never go away. And then I started doing too many opiates and just masked my pain and all this other crap. So they do a thing. Vince calls me on Monday morning. He says, Jan answers the phone. She says, it's Vince. I said, okay. So he's in L.A. getting ready to do Raw later that day. He said, hey, pal, hope you're feeling better. I got a little something for you on the show tonight you're really going to like, so hope you watch. That was about it. So I was drugged, legally and by the doctor's order. So this stuff I enduring. So I said, okay, thanks, whatever it was. I was buzzed. So I ended up falling asleep later in the day to watch, and I didn't watch the show. And so I wake up to Jan crying. And I'm thinking, what the hell has happened while I was asleep? She had older parents. There could have been a death or any tragedy. I didn't know. So I said, honey, what's wrong? She says, you didn't see what Vince did you? And I said, no, I slept right through the whole show. So she says, why does he do these things? And I said, what did he do? She told me. We rewinded the DVR, and it was the segment 11, the money segment of Monday Night Raw, the segment every wrestler, male or female, covet to be in. Close the show. You know that as well as I do.
That's right.
For years, that was the Austin and Rock segment.
Yeah.
It's almost like they book Austin and Rock in 11 and then work backwards, which is not a horrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, it was in segment 11. I thought it was a little ridiculous use of time. There were talents on there that we were hoping to draw money with and sell merch with and pay-per-views, et cetera, that could have used that spotlight. Instead, it showed me in a makeshift little hospital room and with my ass sticking up in the air, mannequin, obviously. They had nurse slobber knockers. So that was another shot. Yeah, big, very
very
endowed woman. Oh,
yeah, of course.
A lot of cleavage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the payoff of it was he started pulling things out of my ass, footballs,
Jeez.
toasters, whatever it was. And so the end result was the finish was him pulling a mannequin head that needed to resemble me apparently, and he pulled my head out of my ass. So that was the payoff. JR, get your head out of your ass. And I never understood that punchline. I never understood the creative. I'm not sure who all wrote that. I think Brian Gewirtz was involved. I'm not mad at anybody about it. Brian was doing what he said that he's supposed to do. He's a talented guy.
Right.
But it was just, I thought, a waste of time. And I thought it was it borderline on too personal. It wasn't business and it wasn't funny. So why did we do it? And it made my wife cry. So it pissed me off.
And that is the eternal question. Why did he do it?
God, who knows? You probably have as good an assumption as I do. I don't know why he did it. He thought it was entertaining. Everything, it's like ribbing on the square in wrestling. Wrestlers are famous about not wanting to face up to the truth sometimes and make everything convenient for them. And the ribbing on the square becomes, I've heard guys say, they say this, and then somebody would say, it's like a woman insulting a woman or coming on to her. Hey, honey, I'm just teasing. Come on. You can't believe I'm serious about that, can you? Oh, yeah, I can. So that's kind of what it was. I never did understand it. He thought it was entertaining, and that scared me because it wasn't.